Let's see how Mike handles that, and he says hello on our busy program here today on a Monday. Mike, it's a pleasure, and first off, boy, it's great to see Camden Yards hopping. I love that series against the Angels a couple weeks ago with all those big hits in the late innings. A lot of juice. That's a great baseball town. You got to feel good here. We got some progress. Let's discuss that first. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I am definitely excited about what's going on right now and what we have ahead of us, and I think ahead of us for a while. It's awesome to see the yard have some electricity to it again. It's been a little while, but we all know what this town is capable of when it comes to its baseball team. There's definitely a buzz about the way that the club is playing right now, not just the wins and losses, but the style of play, the brand of baseball that these guys have been putting out there. And I think it's a great thing for the city of Baltimore. And I am so encouraged by the healthy spot that this organization finds itself in right now.
100%. A lot to do here, Mike. Let's talk about this ownership situation. It has not gotten in the way. We know that the brothers don't get along, and I know it's a tricky question, but an Oriole fan's going to want to know how it affects your position and your job. Let me get your thoughts on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy line of work that we're in. There's always crazy stuff going on. And, this to us is not something that's going to impact anything that we do in the front office or on the field. John Angelos, who's been running the team, is doing an outstanding job positioning this organization for the future, and the results are starting to show up on the field this year. So we love the people that we work with here. We love where we're headed. I think we've got a very dynamic organization that's positioned itself to compete in the American League East, which is not easy to do. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us to stay up to speed with the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. It's a tall task, but we're looking forward to doing that. And I think that the relationship with the front office and the ownership group has been terrific.
Which trade was harder for you to make, Mancini or the closer?
It was a very tricky trade deadline for us, as you said, given the momentum that we have going, where we are in the wild card race, but also the opportunities that the trade deadline can present in terms of seeking value on the market. And that's what front offices have to do, even when there are timing aspects that make those decisions very tricky. We look at what our plans are for the rest of this decade, where we're at as an organization, what we have in terms of depth, and we see depth on this roster. We certainly see depth in AAA and in the entire organization. We're sitting on the #1 farm system in the game. We've got several high-performing, high-top prospects in AAA right now that are positioning themselves for call-ups. And we made what were difficult decisions to trade a couple of our best performing players for a lot of really good pitching prospects. And it's just something that organizations have to do at times to keep the short and long term, but in this case, more long term healthy. And we think we have the depth to backfill and keep it going and keep competing. And Brandon Hyde and his staff are doing a tremendous job keeping these players playing hard. And, the players are doing it themselves. I mean, this group really likes each other. It's a hard charging group. There's a lot of energy. And, I think the fact that they responded to those moves by winning, I think, the next 5 games says a lot about how this group is wired. And I know they're excited for the second half.
Yeah, I saw that 100%. Cincinnati and Texas have been playing a little better, and you went in there and you did a good series. Now, you also, you were in Texas, right, Mike? So you spoke to the team. So you made sure, because you knew there'd be some backlash, and you're the GM and you're the boss, so you made sure you had a conversation to explain to the players that we have your back. This is why we did this. Did you did that? If I read correctly, you did that last week down in Arlington. Is that correct?
Yeah, obviously you're concerned about the message that sends with a team that has accomplished what these guys have accomplished, which has been unbelievable. I mean, they against any outside expectation, have put us in the spot to compete for the postseason the rest of the year. We make strategic moves at the trade deadline to enhance the overall health of the organization, knowing that we're going to continue to play well the rest of the year. At least that's our plan at this point in time. And I want the players and I want the public to understand that, we've got a plan in place that's going very, very well in our estimation. And we see what they're doing and support what they're doing and know that this is a momentum that's not just going to count for the next 2 months, but hopefully count for the next 6, 7, 8 years around here. And we feel that this is a team that is, after a very rough stretch of years, is now positioning itself to take off and get back in the fight in our division. And that's really all you can say in our division, because these other organizations are so strong that we just want to be able to mix it up with these teams. And we feel like we're doing that from this point forward. This is a team that's going to be reckoned with in the AL East, and we'll see where it goes.
Do you have, this is an ownership thing again, Mike, since we don't get you on very often, I'll throw it at you. When you get into a situation where you think you might be, a player shy of really, being a big-time team in the division, whether it's a pitcher, a bat, and then it's the off season, do you think you will get the wherewithal from owner to spend the money that you need to bring in a big free agent? Because, the Orioles, we all know the payroll, but, the Indians sign Ramirez. There's going to come a time where you might need to supplement with that one player who's available, and it's going to cost you some money. Is the organization going to have your back when you want to do that? Let me hear.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of what a healthy spot that we're in. We don't have any big contracts to work around. We've got payroll flexibility. We can basically supplement this team however we want now, and it's going to start this winter. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's exciting. I don't know, which position it's going to be or bullpen or starting pitcher yet. We're going to have to see where we're at and see what's out there on the market. And it could be via trade too, that we bring in some veteran players. I just don't know. I just know that we're ready and in a great position to start to supplement the major league payroll in addition to the guys that are already here. Many of them are going in arbitration. So I do think it's going to be really exciting buy-oriented offseason for us. We reconfigured the left field dimensions of Camden Yards, as everybody's seen, and that's really transformed the style of play in the ballpark. And I think it's going to make it a much more attractive destination for free agent pitchers going forward, which is huge for us because that's been a big problem for this franchise.
Yeah, who cares what Aaron Judge says? You got to do what's good for your ball club. I completely agree. And as Mike laughs there, because Judge didn't like it beginning of the year. The scenario with the Orioles and their pitching, Cuellar, Dobson, Palmer, McNally. I mean, Stone had a big year. Garland 1 year, won 20-something games. We know what the Orioles are about historic. Wally Bunkers, 66. I'll go back that way if you want me to. We know where the Orioles are pitching-wise. How many young pitchers do you have in the organization right now that you think, I know you got the one guy who's going to be great, who you think could be, top-end starters? You got 3 guys? You got 4? How many guys in the organization right now, Mike, that could fit that role, say, 2 or 3 years down the road? How many?
I don't know if I can name a number, but we've got 5 starting pitchers up here right now that are throwing pretty well, and that's with John Means being hurt. Tyler Wells is currently hurt. He's been our best starter this year. So we've had several guys emerge on the 40-man roster and on the 26-man roster this season. And that's in addition to Grayson Rodriguez, who's the consensus #1 overall pitching prospect in baseball. DL Hall, who's in AAA, doing some exciting stuff and has got multiple plus pitches. We just picked up some players this trade deadline that I'm extremely excited about that project starting pitching. So we feel it stacks up right there with anyone. And I think that's why you see, this morning, ESPN ranking our farm system #1. We've got a lot of talent in this organization. It hasn't been easy to get to this point. It's taken some work and some persistence the last few years, but we feel we're really in a good spot to now build going forward.
Excellent job. It's great to see. Mike, keep it up. Appreciate some thoughts here today. Go get him Baltimore. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.